Hi, Terry here again. A couple of notes. One is you might hear some noises. Again, they're constructing a condo right next to ours. So there's construction noise going on. And the other, you might see the video shake a little bit because there's a cat that happens to be enjoying nuzzling the tripod. So if it jiggles a little bit, that's just Sam. And you can see that we've continued to empty boxes and found my cat that I usually record with. It reminds me to relax, to stretch, to breathe. So it's one of those with meanings and reminders. For this week, I've been thinking about grow, what it means to grow, especially in the latter decades of life. What do I mean by lifelong growth? That we should continue or we can continue growing into our 70s, 80s, and 90s and the high priority that I place on it. Because in some senses, it would be almost contrary. Because growing, well, I'm retired, so I've reduced my time, commitments, my interactions, my productivity, so that has shrunk. And as far as moving into the condo here, it's a smaller condo than before, and we've moved into Holland, Michigan, which is certainly much smaller than the community we moved from in Southern California. So that's shrunk. We went to our gym again this morning, and I don't have the same weight on the machines as I used to. So that's down. So it feels like this age is shrinking, getting smaller over time. So what do I mean by grow, doing that? Well, one aspect of that is I call it the I, we, all. That one of the ways that I see expanding throughout life is beginning with I and me. You might say the terrible or the terrific twos is about I and me and mine and do it my way, and the world needs to rotate around me. If I don't get my way, then I go crazy. So we begin with the I, and that I continues through, and it's important to have a healthy I to take care of ourselves and to learn that in order to take care of others and reach out, we need to take care of ourselves, so that we begin with the I and then expand into we. Be it we as a family, being concerned for those we as friends, which can turn into cliques or gangs or whatever if it goes off track. But we move into we, or our religion. This is what we believe, or this is our country first, or whatever. We expand from the I only to the we. And in my mind, the we begins with people that we're in direct contact with, and then expands beyond that to our particular niche in the area of religion, that we have things right, everybody else has things wrong. It might be denominational, it might be a local church, it might be a tradition, say Reformed versus, other Protestant denominations, that it might expand to say I'm part of the Protestant versus that. So we keep growing that way. Or nation, that we are Republican or Democrat or independent. That's who we are, and we stick with that, and we stick together, and we vote together, and we have the same themes, and we protest the same, and we agree. We submit the I, in a sense, to the we. And then maybe that expands to a we, our nation first. And we go into the we, and hopefully a growing we, that we learn to cross bridges, get less tribal, and maybe expand into a nation. And then that third growth, that's where I'm experiencing right now, I'm growing into, and that is the all. All. It's not only I taking care of myself and attending to my needs, and the we, who are we, how do I care for the we? How do I learn to fit in or not fit in, but taking into consideration who we are and keeping that as an importance, but then expanding beyond that into the all. There's a phrase that I used a lot in my teaching, and that is blessed to be a blessing. So as I am blessed, I'm to be a blessing to us together. And as we are blessed, and as we find health and abundance, we are blessed to be a blessing to the all. So I'm growing into all. Not only Protestant, but also Roman Catholic Orthodox, and not only Christian, but also Buddhist and Hindu, and all. How do I be a blessing to all? How do I appreciate all? How do I connect with all? And then all beyond our own nation, and say we are blessed in such an amazing way that maybe our question should not be, how do we keep people out of our country, but how much of a blessing can we possibly be to those folks at the boundary, at our borders that are struggling? How do we do it wisely? Not ignoring the I or the we, but just to say we're blessed. How many people can we possibly receive? How can we be a blessing? How can we take of our abundance and share it and bless others through it? And beyond humans into nature. How are we a blessing to our world, to animals, to creation itself? How do we care for all, be it thinking about climate change and studying it and being aware of it and thinking, how do I do my very small part in being a blessing to the all? So for me, growth in this the latter decades of my life is about that expansion. How do I keep expanding beyond, beyond who I am, my own needs, my concerns, me first, and beyond we? Here's what we believe in our tradition. Here's how we're protecting ourselves as a nation or a state, as a political party or a faith tradition, into the all. And I'm learning to grow into all, listening to more and more people, reading more and more. I'm reading right now quite a bit on the indigenous population here in the United States and learning to appreciate their perspective. So continuing to think about all. That's my growth right now. And it'd be easy to become skeptical as I listen to reports or listen to testimonies. Might be as simple as getting vaccinated for the COVID. It's say, no, I'm not going to do it because it's the I, it's still the A. And if I even ask them, what about we? What about maybe thinking about it because it might be better for others? And it's like it just goes blank. Or I listen to faith traditions, be it sermons or teaching or creeds, and there's so much I and we. What about the all? So I don't want to be skeptical. That doesn't help. Besides, just to criticize others doesn't help much. The key is to model. So I'm seeking to model. So I wonder where you are in the expansion from I to we to all. Or you might think that your world is so shrunk you don't have much freedom. Oh my. You have freedom to continue that growth. Even if your external world shrinks over time, which I know it will, the freedoms as I age and so on, I understand that. But the freedom to continue to expand, continue to grow, continue to move into the all. And I would love to continue or find ways, fresh ways to experience all and to actually mentor others or coach others or be a model for others, what it means to cross bridges from the I to the we to the all, to listening, to appreciating, to say, I don't have all the answers. We don't have all the answers. There's a humility to it. So I'd encourage you to keep growing And I believe that lifelong growth should be just that. Well, just that. Lifelong growth that lasts across your whole lifespan. And there are certain areas you can't control. I can't control, I understand that. But the growth from I to we to all is something that I can work with, I can sit with, I can read, I can listen, I can connect. I'd encourage you to do the same. Keep growing. Never stop growing. Talk to you again.